Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me. We are here for another race series. It's the TFC Mad Monday EU series. Bit of a strange one with Mad Mondays. They have split categories where there's 8 categories overall instead of just the normal 4. There's A, B's and C's, highs and lows. So this route takes us on 4 laps of Watopia Flat. As you can see from the profile here, not really a great deal of elevation. A couple of short climbs, maybe around 300 meters, 400 meters maybe. Nothing that we shouldn't be able to handle. And so yeah, off to the races we go. One teammate in this race, you'll see him in the bright pink gear. And here we go, 3, 2, 1, and off we go. So this is my first Mad Monday in probably about a year, and the first one since they introduced the split categories. Expecting a hard start, but 300 or so watts, well, it's not that bad. The other ZR Scott rider off the front, probably expecting a particularly hard start as well, which didn't really come to anything. 300 or so watts. I expected it to be a little harder, but such is life. The Rhino team well represented there. The Vikings as well. They're with the V in their tag. They're quite well represented. Only 2 ZR Scott riders here. A couple from Team Italy, obviously TFC have a couple as well, but things just sort of get together. Bunch of about 21 in the race overall. I think about 20 of us ended up bunched together off the start, just one sort of dropping away, as you can see from the minimap in the top right. But everything held together, and it held together for quite a while. Normally the selections are made quite early, but this one held on, and we got to the first little climb coming out of the underwater tunnels. And again we can see Thomason dropping 6.4 watts a kilo, but he's never going to stay away for 37 kilometers, so I was quite happy just stay with the pack, sit in, and it's quite safe in the knowledge that he was going to come back. So all I wanted to do was stay with these selections, and come back he did, but not before I looked and thought, I'm not sure if it was. So put down some power, brought everything back together and got into the lead group, but ultimately it was just a match burnt for nothing. I could have left it and it would have all come back. But as I say, having not raced for quite a while, I didn't really know what to expect, and kind of thought that maybe a better selection would have been made there. And it turned out it was a match burnt for nothing, but there you go. Next big selection was coming into the sprint. A group of guys got off the front on the early hill, and they duly sprinted away and took the points over the line there. Harvard Thomason from the Vikings, Neil Ganlon and Nicolo Martinelli. And again, just after the sprint, we go up the hill. It's not massive. It's maybe 300-400 meters, around 6% at points. I think at its highest point. But put in some power, try and bring this all back together. Make sure we were in the lead group. I'm still expecting a split to appear, and it didn't really. Started to, and you could see people were starting to tail off, dropping 5-6 seconds back. So you could definitely see that there were problems being made, and that ultimately led to the real selection here. Just after we'd come through the ups and downs, the sort of bumpy parts of the course, and 10 riders, I think we'd broken away, and this was going to be the selection. But the interesting part of this was 3 Rhino riders in here, and really one from a few of the other teams, and that did pose some issues. You know, they could do a lot of damage having 3 riders there. Through onto lap 2, and again the pack was coming across this hill after the switchbacks, and again people dropping 7.3 watts a kilo. So put a bit of power down, try and bring everything back together. I still thought that 10 was, you know, it's half the race. There's only 21 riders. So I expected it to get thinned down even more, so I started marking everything, but ultimately it wasn't worth it. Brought us into the next sprint though. Look at those power numbers, 10 watts a kilo, 9.9. My goal wasn't sprint points. I haven't been competing in this series, so I haven't been sprinting for points. I really just wanted to stay together. So skip forward again, and you can see that everything has kind of come back together, but one of the Rhino riders did get distanced, and we thought maybe, you know, if we ride a little bit, this could split them up, but ultimately it led to nothing. Gruppo Compacto again, and on to the next and final sprint. Sprint's only on lap 1, 2 and 3. Again, heavy watts being dropped by those guys, and again the same names you see again: Harvard Thomason from the Vikings, Nicolo Martinelli, Team Italy, Robert Homer, Rhino. You know, they were putting big sprints down, but ultimately we got out through there, over the bridge and onto the hill. I didn't like the idea of falling behind. I thought maybe they would make a move with just over, you know, 10 and a half or 12 kilometers to go. I thought they would make a move. It didn't happen. You know, I wasn't really putting down a lot of power, 270 watts, but it was still gapping people up the hill. I really should have, maybe I should have made a move here. Maybe I should have just tried to push on and take the last 12k by myself, but it didn't happen. And on to the last lap, under the tunnels, and again, I was expecting a move. 3 Rhino riders. We're on to the last lap. They haven't been attacking anybody. So start to put the hammer down. A bit of a preemptive attack, if you will. Kind of expecting one of the Rhino riders to try and get away up the hill. So I thought, if I attack first, then you know, they won't be able to attack. But I did notice though, when I came out here, they let me open up a gap up to about 2 seconds, 3 seconds as it moved forward, and I thought, you know, maybe I could ride and try and open this up, because the gap was 4 seconds and up to 5 seconds at one point. But ultimately the Rhinos sent somebody after me, and once we got caught by last man of the Rhinos, that pretty much killed that little escape attempt with 5.5 kilometers to go. Then we come into the last kilometer, and this is where the race was lost. I should have been paying more attention. You'll see I was taking a drink, I was, you know, wiping myself down, and so I will play this last 800 meters with the audio I recorded. Enjoy this. Here goes. Oh, you're going. I said a bad word here. Cut it out. I can't believe I missed the move. Anyway, it was 4th. It wasn't the worst result in the world, but I cannot believe I missed that basic split. Anyway, I'll see you next time.